game. So, let's waste no time in getting right into it. First up, let's start with the
Hard
new
modes.
PvE content. We're supercharging some of our familiar dungeon bosses, making for a really tough endgame challenge.
I like this.
Introducing Hard Mode Dungeons.
I like this a lot.
When we say hard mode, we mean hard mode.
Now, I think something I didn't pick up probably the first time I watched this. I saw a couple CCs mention 20 energy on all of them. I don't know if those are placeholders, as they've done that in the past. And then when it went live, it was a different number. Or that's the number. 20 would be wonderful. Let's not bump it up anymore. I think keep it at 20. Let's do it.
We say hard mode, we mean hard mode.
We'll see how that goes.
These aren't just minor buffs and tweaks. We've really changed up the mechanics and abilities of these bosses, adding devilish new twists to old classics.
Yep.
That's not to say you'll have to change how you approach dungeons entirely. Old stages will remain the same, with these remix dungeons being accessible via 10 extra stages for the Dragon's Lair, Ice Golem's Peak, Fire Knight's Castle, and Spider's Den. So,
all right, second thought here. They've already done 2 updates now to all these other guys. Minotaur, 0 updates. Why no love for Minotaur?
let's meet our combatants.
Who doesn't want to get scrolls quicker? Raise your hand.
These
I don't see any hands raised.
bosses weren't exactly nice to start off with, but a creeping darkness has tainted them even further. They're tougher, stronger, and more brutal than their regular counterparts.
I love the lore. Oh, these guys have gotten these guys are a little more nightmarish. That's the lore.
So bring your A game. Let's start with the noxious dragon. It's Tainted Hellraiser. Rather than more fire, this malevolent fiend has doubled down on horrific poisons.
Alright, so basically just a reskin on the dragon. That's fine, I guess, right? Because it's still the dragon lair. But now a dragon spits poison instead of fire, but it still looks like fire. Like, you could have done something a little better there, Plarium. Like, give us a little... I mean, a recolor, that's it? You couldn't give us different looking abilities, at least? Am I being too picky? I'm happy with the changes. I'm happy about all this. Maybe it doesn't sound like it.
His Mephitic Fire skill will apply twice as many poison debuffs as its normal counterpart, Wall of Fire, and it beefs up Tainted Hellraiser with a 50% increase attack buff for good measure. Also, his secret skill, Toxic Incineration, will activate all poison debuffs on your champions at once. This caustic explosion can deal major damage, so be sure to bring some.
And does it seem to me, or does it seem to you, that they pretty much tell you who to bring in all these? Although, I'm not sure I'm bringing a poisoner anymore. Do you want poisoners against
someone
this
who
guy?
can cleanse these poisons from your team. Now, let's take a look at Tainted Clysis and see what new tricks he's hiding up his frozen sleeves. Debilitating Frost will remove all debuffs from Tainted Clysis and decrease your team's turn meter by 30%. Also, he's now utterly immune to poisons. Makes sense, seeing as he's...
You know what it seemed like they did to me on these bosses? They saw the comps that people were speed running these comps with, and they basically said, okay, we're going to just prevent those... We're going to prevent those speed comps from being the way to do it. And that's how these new bosses are going to be. So, we're going to remove poisons, because everybody was using poisons. Ice Golem and Dragon.
Literally made from ice. So, how do you defeat something made of ice? You melt it. HP Burn is your friend here. It deals 10% more damage to Tainted Clysis and destroys the max HP of his minions, making it easier to put them back into the ground whenever they get dragged back into the fight. Needless to say, some teams that used to shine in this dungeon will be getting the cold shoulder from Tainted Clysis instead.
There you go. They even laugh at you about it with that statement right there.
Next up, the Ice Golem's hot-tempered counterpart,
there we go, the big
Tainted
one.
Fyro,
This is the big
Fire
one.
Knight. If you thought his shield was nasty before, just wait until you see it now. It goes from needing 12 hits to break in stage 25 of normal mode to needing 21 hits in
21 hits. That's a big jump. And let's be honest here. Of the four dungeons, the three that they've shown so far, which three are endgame players going to be farming? Probably Fire Knight. Just saying. 21 hits.
Stage 10 of hard mode, and that's not even your biggest worry. Attacking Tainted Fyro's shield will destroy your champion's max HP by 1%. Need more HP destruction? His Corrupting Blaze skill also destroys your team's HP by 15% of the damage dealt.
And a lot of the stuff I felt like they brought in almost push you to have the blessings. Like anything with enemy max HP is basically saying you got to have someone there with Miracle Heal.
Meaning, whatever he does, your HP is taking a hit. You'll need to find a way to counter this, or else Tainted Fyro will be carving through your champions like a hot knife through butter. Oh, and he's immune to turn meter reduction too. Sorry, all you Cold Heart and Allure fans.
See, again, just basically the way we used to speedrun these, they just, okay, we're going to shut that down and we're going to make you have to do something different, which is fine. New content, which is fine. It's just funny. It's just funny, right?
However, all hope is not lost. Turns out Tainted Fyro just needs to chill out. Okay,
Again, it looks like they've given you the comp you need. They brought in the Martyr with the counterattacks, because you're going to need a counterattack champ to help you get that shield down. And they got the Shramani in there. They got the Carl in there for the freezes. Like, it's almost like they're showing you how to do it.
May not literally freeze him, but it will cause him to lose 15% of his turn meter per freeze debuff. Cool. Let's move on to our next star, Tainted Scavag, and her endless brood of spiderlings. The changes to her dungeon should send shivers down your spine. First, Tainted Scavag is immune to turn meter reduction and HP burn. We're not kidding. In fact, if you've got HP burn on her spiderlings, each HP burn activation will now partially heal her. So you'll definitely want to avoid that.
I guess I can build two Sissias for real now instead of having one all
that
weird.
That old trick won't save you either.
Like two items on.
Where one door closes, another one opens. Each time a spiderling dies, Scavag loses a chunk of her HP. So upping your area of effect game and blasting her entire clutch to Kingdom Come is now a viable strategy. Another saving grace is that hard mode spiderlings aren't any tougher than they are on stage 25.
But the other thing there, man, why they got Tunisia in there if they're telling you not to bring HP burn?
It's now a viable strategy. Another saving grace is that hard mode spiderlings aren't any tougher than they are on stage 25 of normal mode.
With you there?
So if you can splat them there,
HP burn slower, essentially.
Okay. Overall, hard mode dungeons live up to their name.
Yeah, so hard. Listen, hard. Well, here comes the best part. Let's watch the best part.
Taking them on is well worth the effort.
Here's the best part of it.
Along with yielding greater rewards and more event or clan v clan tournament points, hard mode dungeons will also drop mythical artifacts and accessories.
Yes. Yes. Now, here's the funny thing. I thought they said this wasn't coming. Didn't they say that? Because wasn't there an image out there? Wasn't there a story of someone getting... He lost a really good speed boot. I think it had a 4-roll speed, and it was like defense percentage or HP percentage. Somehow it like disappeared, and they gave him a mythical piece. Wasn't that true? And then they said, no, this isn't happening. So, whatever. I don't know. Either way, I'm amped. I'm happy about mythical pieces for everything. I think it's been stupid that it's only for Hydra stuff and only for 2 sets, so I'm glad they brought it in.
Until now, you could only get mythical artifacts from Hydra battles, but it wasn't exactly an easy location to farm. Once hard mode dungeons go live, you'll get to choose which sets to hunt for, and have more ways to earn mythical artifacts and accessories. And trust me, you'll want these mythical goodies to prepare for the challenges we've got cooking this year. Speaking of challenges, we all know that the best thing in life is to crush your enemies, climb the ranks of the arena, and become the best in the world. But until now, you can only test your strength against AI-controlled defense teams, and we know you all dreamed of more than that. You want to go head-to-head with other players to feel the thrill of real-time PvP and test your skill against opponents as cunning as you are.
Yes, sir.
Now, at last, we can say that dream is becoming reality. Live Arena is coming to Raid.
Nice.
We're super excited about it and can't wait to see how Raid's PvP scene...
I feel like this is something that everybody, not everybody, I felt like a lot of the CCs are saying this wasn't even coming. And to me, like, I felt like this is the only thing that should be coming. I'm I'm thrilled. This is the best thing that's happening to this game, in my opinion. It gives you something to do when there's nothing to do. And that's what this game has always lacked, in my opinion. Going in and playing Arena isn't going in and playing PvP. It's not. So I'm excited for
after
this.
the feature goes live.
And let's look. They'll explain it a little bit more, but I think they're approaching it the right way, and I'll explain that a little bit more.
We won't go into too much detail today, so consider this an appetizer before a full feature preview video later.
What do you mean later this year? What is later this year? What does later this year mean, man? That could mean December. That I don't like. It probably doesn't mean December, but like, kind of feels like December, doesn't it? Like later this year could be any time. I'm hoping the next couple months.
This year, Live Arena will be available to all players who are level
so
50 and above. You can queue up for battles several times a day on a set schedule, a necessary measure to avoid long wait times in a
You can queue up for battles several times a day on a set schedule. This is the key part, a necessary measure to avoid long wait times in a PvE-focused game like Raid. I think this is smart. I think this is the smartest thing they're doing. It's not always open. So it'll be open for a little chunks here and there. Is that how I'm giving it? So like people will kind of be waiting for it to open up, and then you can jump in, and there'll be a ton of people playing at once. I think that's a smart move, because if you always have it open, it's going to be hard to. I feel like it would be hard to find a match. So I feel like that's a smart move.
A PvE focused game like
I think
Raid.
It's smart. I think it's the smartest thing they've done on the Live Arena.
You'll be added to the matchmaking pool, and you'll get matched up against an opponent as soon as possible. After pairing up with an opponent, the battle of wits begins with picking champions. During this phase, both players will pick their champions one by one.
Now, I've already been thinking about this. Like, this is really compelling. What do you do? What do you do when you're picking a 5-man team and you're gonna lose someone? Like, do you pick 2 nukers? Do you pick two double revivers? Like, do you have 2 Siffies in there? Well, you can't do doubles, right? So not 2 Siffies, but like a Siffy and a Duchess. Like, how do you I feel like you almost have to build with 2 nukers. It's compelling. It's interesting. I'm interested to see how that's going to play out. I'm interested. I like it.
A team of fun.
And I know that's how Summoner's War has done it. I think they also have a picks and bans in Summoner's War. Or a ban portion as well, whereas like you can ban champions flat out, and I kind of thought they might do that here, and maybe they'll do that at some point or in some sort of fashion. But
each player will then get to ban a single enemy champion from the fight and choose their team leader. No doubt some of you more devious players will come up with plenty of mind games for this. Oh, and one thing to mention, you won't be able to use duplicate champions in the higher Live Arena tiers. Once the teams have been drafted, the battle begins. It won't be all that different as far as core mechanics are concerned, except you're fighting a real human. So be prepared for nasty surprises that the AI could never come up with. All phases in battle will have an overall time limit and a limit on player turns. Should the overall time limit run out, both players will receive a defeated result. You're fighting the clock as much as...
Now, here's the only thing on that, and I'm going to steal this from whatever CC I heard say it the other night. There are going to be people who just troll and build a team that you can't beat, and you're going to go to 30 minutes. Well, I don't know who would go to 30 minutes. I'd probably quit after a little bit, but there's going to be people out there that are going to build troll teams, right? And just try and wait it out. I hope not, but it could happen. It could happen.
As you're fighting your opponent.
30 minutes is a long time, man.
Opponents here, so don't try and stall out for the win. On top of the sheer awesomeness of fighting other players in real time, there'll be...
And look at their arenas, man. They look pretty cool. I mean, it's new. It's updated. It's a little the same, but it's new and looks cool.
Dedicated Live Arena quests, new artifacts, a new addition to the Great Hall where you can spend your hard-earned Live Arena crests.
Now this is a miss for me. This is a big miss. I don't like that it's set to zones, because...
And other rewards to look forward to.
only ones you're going to really care
But we'll
about,
talk about all
are Hydra and Demon Lord. Who cares about buffing up your runs here, like in different dungeons? I suppose maybe it would help, but I think it's a miss. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I don't know what they could have done though. Like I was really interested to see where they were going to go with the upgraded Great Hall. This seems lame. It seems lame to me. Potion keeps? Who's going to upgrade potion keeps? I mean, come on. Who cares? Your potion keeps running 15 to 45 seconds anyway. Like, no one cares about that.
all that later.
Big miss.
Those are the two main
miss.
features we'll be
Swing
working
and a
on
miss
in the
there,
near future. But we also have some significant quality of life updates coming
Tuesday.
too.
I
First
really
of all,
hoping
we're going to
this
make
happens
separate
Tuesday.
multi-battle settings for various game modes and even for some individual dungeons. This should make it even easier to customize your farming teams and ensure they don't run into any trouble during their artifact hunts.
This will be
we
nice.
are also expanding your artifact selling options in multi-battle mode.
Yeah.
Right now, you can only choose what rank of
I've been
artifacts you
complaining
want
about
to get rid
this
of. But we're changing
forever.
it so you can pick which artifacts you want to keep based on the rank,
looks beautiful.
rarity,
That
type,
looks so beautiful
set,
right there.
specific substats, or any
Thank you.
combination of these factors. It won't be difficult to set up, and it'll make your farming a lot smoother. We're also adding a new sorting option for artifacts and accessories that'll allow you
Been
to sort
asking
your
for
gear by
this forever
stats.
too.
For players with many
Been asking for this
artifacts, it
forever.
should help you keep on top of things.
Beautiful.
Finally, we're going to sort out the chaos that is the Fragment Summons tab.
I don't even know why.
Champions that are
Why
currently
even bring this up? Why even bring this up? Just do it. Just do it. Why even bring this up? Stupid. Just do it. No one. Everyone hates this. Everyone hates the million fragment guys in there.
Available
I
by
love that
any
they're
means will be
bragging
hidden
about
from the
it.
list, unless you've got at
Yo,
least
we've
one of
allowed
their
this to go on
fragments.
for 3
It's a
years
small
now.
enough change,
We're finally going to
but
change
it'll
it
make
though.
navigating fragment summons much easier. And
dumb.
finally, it wouldn't be a What's Next video without showing
New
off some
champions.
awesome new champions in the
Whatever.
pipeline.
This does nothing for
Many
me
of
either,
these
man. I
fabulous
don't care about
barbarians,
looking at drawings.
fashionable
Show me
Ogrins,
some abilities.
and their friends are
Show
all
me
but
an
ready to
interesting
jump into
ability.
the
Give me
summoning
something a
pool
little
and
more than
join the
pictures.
fight for
I don't care about
Teleria.
this.
A few are still in the early stages of development, and we need to iron out some new
But,
mechanics.
all in all-
They'll be worth the wait, and we think you guys will love them.
All in all, big time.
And that's it for this episode of What's
Big
Next
time.
to
I
Raid.
mean-
Don't forget to hit like and
That's huge. That's hard modes and that's live arena, man. That's two big time things. That's two big time things for an update video, in my opinion. That's like two enormous things. That's not too minor. That's not too okay. I mean, that's two major updates, and I think they're both awesome. I'm very excited about both. I know people say it's like too much end game stuff. I don't. Obviously, the hard modes are end game, but like.
Tell me likey. Tell me why.
You got to put stuff out there for the end game too. Like everything in this game before Sand Devils and Iron Tomb is early game. Or Hydra is basically early mid game. Everything else is like you got to put end game content out there. A lot of this player base have been playing for a long time. You know, you got to give them something. Is that really going to make a huge distance between the whales and non-whales? I don't think so. I feel like it brings in more. It's going to allow other people to get some really baller gear now. I don't feel like these hard modes are going to be that difficult where you're like the mid to end game players aren't going to be able to almost catch up quicker with that type of gear. You know, obviously the people are going to be spending for tons of energy. They're going to jump out even further. Whatever. That's part of the game. But I don't know, I'm excited for it. I'm excited. Live Arena. I feel like Live Arena could be for anybody. I don't think that's end game only. Obviously, the top players are going to be end game and whales. But like, I'm fine with that, man. Like, whatever. I'm going to get beat up all the time, and I got a pretty strong account. But I'm just excited for it. It brings something new. I think it'll be fun.